All right. Hello, everyone. In this case, Anubha, and everyone who is watching this session later on YouTube. Welcome to the third session of the Culture First Community Pune. And in this session, we have the wonderful Anubha Maneshwar with us, who is the founder of Girl Script Foundation. And we are going to talk about the future of communities, especially with pandemic and Web 3.0. Right? Maybe our next event after 2 years would be in a metaverse. I don't know. I have to, at least as a community leader, I have to be prepared for that. I don't know anything about what is fungible, what is non-fungible. So this is going to be an exciting session for me as a learner, and and I'm very pleased to have you, Anubha. So would you like to probably give a brief introduction about yourself? Where did you start, and how did this girl script happen?
Yeah, sure. So I started when I joined my based in a tier two city of India, in Maharashtra. That time I realized that there is a huge gap between what my other friends are doing at the cities and what I am doing as an engineering student in Nagpur. So that was kind of a realization when I started understanding that there is a huge gap between how people the I mean, what other computer engineers were studying at that time in books, I think it was exactly somewhat like that. But then other things, how individual grows, like if you meet anyone who is studying at an Ivy League university undergrad, and if you meet somebody from an IIT and then you meet somebody from a tier two, tier three city, there is a huge gap in and there is huge change in their perspective, in their mindset, how they represent themselves. So a lot of gap I saw, and then I started. First of all, my concern was with myself that because I am studying in this college, whether I would get placed or not, what will happen with me, what is my future. So I kind of started doubting myself, and then I started looking for opportunities because when you hit the rock bottom, you just want to like come out of the water like somehow. So I think I just wanted to swim, and that was my first encounter with all of those things. And then I started becoming part of different communities. So back then there were Mozilla community. Mozilla is still obviously going on, but then Mozilla community, women tech makers, all of that. So I got to know about all these communities which bigger organizations were running, although their chapters were not again in cities like Nagpur. So that was again a problem. So I tried to connect all of these communities to smaller cities and then bring their chapters to my city as well. And then doing their events, organizing different kinds of hackathons, small workshops. So likewise, I started volunteering with n number of different organizations and even interning. So I interned with almost 50, 60 companies as a virtual intern, whatever I got, because I knew that I needed to do something and I was not sure what. So I started exploring. So right from PNG, which is like top like marketing and FMCG firm. So I started as a marketing intern there, and then later I also moved to and different other career paths as well. So that was my first interaction with the industry and the community in general. Later on, at one stage when I reached final year of my college, I realized that this is a bigger problem, and this was not just my problem. And I was fortunate and curious enough to meet people at right time so that they could give me that international exposure which was needed through Mozilla and other communities. But then there are other people who need help. So that was, I think, the trigger point that I need to start something of my own or do a community which is based in India for Indian people, understand students and their mindset, understand the diverse culture of India. So, yeah, that was, I think, the beginning of everything.
So what year are we talking about? Yeah.
So 2017, I started. 2017, I was in final year, a final semester of my college. So early 2017, when I was in final semester, I also started with GirlScript as a project under Mozilla Open Leaders program. So there was one program by Mozilla. I was mentored by Christy, who works with Alan Turing Institute in London. and
Yeah.
also used to work for Mozilla Science. So she was my mentor from London, and then we decided that we'll start this project under the program. And then later on, once it started getting popularity, I also and people actually responded to the organization or the content that we were providing. Then I registered it as a non-profit
Okay.
organization.
Okay. Okay. All right. So everyone, you heard Anubha, right? The first step in becoming a community leader is probably joining other communities and learning how they work, right? All right. So, okay, my next question. What do you think about the state of communities in India right now? Where are we with respect to, let's say, other developed countries or maybe big cities around the world?
So when I went to US for the first time for one of the conferences, I understood that there the culture, the support people give to each other, or even the other countries that I have visited for multiple conferences, the problem in India is still there because again, I feel that there is a lot of centralization with premier institutes, and people run after brands. Like people just want a tag with them. So right now, many of the students, I have seen one student being part of 10 different communities just for the tag, just for the swags or the t-shirts or whatever they are getting out of it. But no, and they would go to a podium after the event and just click pictures. And I mean, that is what they want to do. And one student has so students have a lot of misconceptions. I feel they feel that if they go to any XYZ company's event, or they would become a community manager there. So they join it with the intention of getting a job or getting placed in that company. All the communities have a very different role to play in your journey, I believe. Because if you become a part of the community, you get a lot of networking opportunities. If you utilize it very well, you can later in your career as well, if you want to switch a job. So you can communicate with XYZ person from XYZ community and talk to them that whether you have vacancies or something. So networking is the biggest opportunity that community provide, and other things as well, like a lot of exposure. You can improve your communication skills. You can come out of your comfort zone. You can take different roles and understand what you are good at. So I think community is more about learning. But then if you go inside with wrong intentions, if you want jobs and you are just running after that or the gifts or whatever you are getting out of it, I think that shouldn't be there. So that is the state right now as well, I feel. There is a lot of improvement that needs to be done, although organizations who are genuinely working for the students and not just utilizing any companies like marketing funds to just market their product, but helping students are also coming out. But then there is a huge gap, I believe, and not just one or five or 10 organizations can do it. I think we need more people and more initiatives like that to bridge this gap.
So if we look at so based on your answer, I
Yeah,
noticed that if you look at the current social media, right? So human attention is the primary currency in social media, right?
yeah,
Because most of the services are free. But if we
yeah,
look at the tech communities in India, can we
yeah.
safely say that swag and that selfie at the podium is the primary currency from both sides,
Uh,
from the community marketing people as well as from the students?
See, students or anybody who is just a member of the community, they should understand that community companies are giving or building communities because they have to. It is a source of indirect marketing for the companies. They have to utilize that funds so that they can outreach their product or their services to you. So that is company perspective. So people don't understand this. That is first thing. The second thing is that the students should also know like what are their intentions. Like for example, like if you join 10 different things rather than if you just select what is your priority and what do you want to learn. Whether you cannot do five different technologies at one time, but you can just be a prominent member in one or two communities which can be really helpful in your career. So that filtration or that prioritizing needs to be done. So this is really important. So I think these all factors are missing right now, and that is why all of this is happening. Even in tech communities, people, some of the communities or people, like they just organize like four different events in an entire year. So I think that is also wrong because continuation is very important. If I started with like J of JavaScript, like I should reach the G. Like I shouldn't just attend one workshop, take the certificate, post it on LinkedIn, get a lot of views and congratulations. I mean, all of that is the biggest space in India, I would say. But all of this is still not resolved, I guess, from my perspective at least, and we have a long way to go.
Right, right. Okay, so you said you started Girl Script in 2017, right? So how big is Girl Script in numbers in 2021?
Yeah. So I started GhostScript with just a WordPress development workshop in
Mm,
Nagpur with around 100, 200 students. It was a free workshop. I invited WordCamp Nagpur community to address the students, and I played just the part of an organizer. So basically, I did not know like what is going to happen or how big it's going to get, or I would be doing this full time because I mean, doing a non-profit full time, that too, like related to tech education. Like, I was not even sure what I'm going to do. But I think that we resonated, we also understood like what are the loopholes present, and then we developed different programs out of it. So initially for a year we just did local communities, and then in different cities wherever like people wanted to do it, and then we just did a pan India summit where we invited people who became the part of the community by end of 2017. That was the only thing that we did. But later on, 2018 onwards, we started seeing ourselves that as a full-time people to this.
mm,
And then apart from me, like two other people also joined it and as full-time person. And then we started building programs. So for example, there were so many open source programs out there. But the
mm.
problem was they required people to know about what open source is already, know about the different softwares and the platforms. They also expected students to submit proposals and write it. And I mean, just IRL challenges, mailing lists, they should have GitHub profiles, everything. So there were certain expectations. Then I come from the crowd where people have never heard the term open source. They have never seen what GitHub is. And right about it, like in
Right.
many cities and many colleges. So I wanted to help those students and break that barrier. So I created Girls Script Summer of Code, which now, like last year, in 20, like this year only in 2021 edition, we saw 8,000 participants from 18 countries across the globe. So now people started identifying that we need this step so that we can go to bigger programs and then we can submit our proposal or we can take up jobs. Also, this was one of the programs which helped them. So in first year itself, like Red Hat was our sponsor. So it interviewed top 50 students, and one of the students like who was talked to Yati, she is now a full-time employee with Red Hat. And she was not from a premier college. So we started building stories and building programs likewise, by building different programs. So right now, in numbers, we have impacted more than 500,000 students
Oh, wow.
globally. And we have around 12 programs which are running right now. As I mentioned about Summer of Code program, similarly, we have different programs addressing different needs, right from slum children, which is our program called Tech in Slums, to working professionals. We are helping everybody to take their first step in technology and
Mm,
also with employability skills in general.
awesome. So you said the word global. So do you have any global chapters as of now?
Yeah, definitely. So, in first year itself, we started in Thompson's River University, Canada, and similarly, like Ireland chapter, Bangladesh, Nepal. So all of these started evolving, and right now, to be honest, when we dig deeper into this problem, we understood that in India also we need a lot of workforce right now too, because there is huge gap even economically, culturally. I mean, every perspective, there is so much of bridging that needs to be done. So initially, like obviously through remote programs, our target is because from last 2 years, GirlScript is 100% remote organization.
Mm.
So all of our remote programs, anybody from any country is able to participate in any of our programs.
Right.
So it's like Summer of Code this year had maximum participation from Egypt, and they were like, "This is the first open source program we are a part of," or something. So people whoever are available on social media, we are trying to reach them as much as possible. But on basic or roots level, we are trying to help first India grow, and then we are also helping remotely. If you are from any country, any gender, we are welcoming you to become part of this. So there is no barrier at all.
So is English the most prominent language of communication in Girl Script?
No, no, not at all. Basically, if, for example, if you take slum children, or we also taught below poverty line students through one of the other NGOs, which has centers in Bangalore and Himachal. So these were residential students from below poverty line. So then we gave them local regional mentors who could speak South Indian languages.
Mm.
So similarly, we focus on what students want. So I believe that community about you need to understand what people want. Like we people just create a Discord server or a channel first thing that they do to build a community, but people use WhatsApp, people use Telegram or something. So I created my community for the most of the time, and most of my operations right now are also going on WhatsApp because it is the app which people open at least like 10 times in a day minimum. So I focus on those points which the crowd wants and not what we want them to give or something. So that is, I think, the main essence of community building to understand what the users need and what not to.
Okay, so right now I think Girl Script is quite big, and based on that, how does a day in the life of Anubha Maneshwar look like as of now in 2021, end of 2021?
Yeah. So earlier I started organizing events and talking at events. So I used to teach mostly Python um, to the students, and I used to teach till 2018-19. I was constantly teaching at different workshops. So that I was doing. So I think that was my primary role. Then when it started growing bigger, I came to strategizing finance accounts, and I also came to so right now I would say that my day starts with a half an hour meeting with my all my management people. So they just tell me like what is going on in different programs, what is happening, where are we lacking, all of that. The second thing I do is interact with as many people on social platforms, or if they have sent me a DM or something, or if something is not happening. So query resolution or any kind of support if I can provide. So I direct my team if something is happening because all of these, most of these people are volunteers. So they are working for this cause on their. So I think as a full-time person, it is my responsibility to bridge. So that is the second thing which I do. Third thing is I right now, because it has been already 5 years, almost 5 years I'm running this organization. So right now I take more time not doing any work, but thinking like what we would do next. So I take more time in learning about new things which are happening right now so that then we can create ideas, we can brainstorm, I can discuss it with my team and simultaneously. And then fourth is the collaborations. Any company collaboration or somebody wants to customize, do a program with us. So right now, GirlScript has worked with like all the global, like top global tech companies. So these approach us for creating different programs for students. So I think that is the fourth thing which I.
Awesome. So, anyone hearing us on YouTube, I think this is a wonderful takeaway. Uh, Growing in leadership means creating second line of leadership, your successors, and delegating most of the work you were doing earlier. So I think Anuba, thanks for that. It's a great takeaway. All right. So as the community grows, I think it becomes challenging to keep the people engaged, and also to I have seen that in Mozilla as well, uh,
Yeah.
the politics and that centralization of power with certain influential people, that also happens when the communities grow to that scale. So how do you manage all those things?
Yeah, so I think previously I have been victim of a lot of these things.
Mhm.
Also because early 2013, 14, 15, there were very less girls used to be in tech community. So the spotlight would be on like 4 or 5 girls who are part of the community. And then, so all of these things happen to you. You become victim of the politics. You don't know what is happening. You genuinely want to work for the cause, but then some people would just want to rip the community off, or they just want to see like what they are getting from it. So I mean, all those things have happened with me in the past. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do my own organization and eliminate all those things which used to happen. So how I do it, first thing is that I pay very keen attention to what is happening inside. I give this freedom to everybody to talk to me directly. If there is anything, just WhatsApp me, call me, text me, whatever. I mean, whatever is the source. I think most of the communities have all of these problems is because the founders or the people are like not taking very primary in the community. So I think that is one of my roles to play is to be in touch with them all the time. So that is first thing, and give them liberty to not be a celebrity or kind of a founder that I'm a founder and I'm not reachable. Don't call me. Why are you talking to me? So I don't want I don't want that. I am a very normal person, so you can call me anytime, talk to me. That is first thing. The second thing, how I eliminate is this. So every year, if you complete 1 year, you automatically become an alumni of the company. So you are no longer serving with your position and you give that position to somebody else. So, yeah, like you have to already prepare your successor in the community so that you are ready for it and you are not just here for um, you are not just here for the benefits or for the title, but you give it to the successor, like how it is happens in Miss World, Miss Universe, or something like that, where they just pass on the crown so that you don't become greedy. So that is the second thing. The third thing would be we keep on supplying like new and new content to the people, like because we innovate and we build programs. Like for example, if a group of people come to us with certain problem, we just brainstorm and see if we can build a program for this. For example, Tech in Slums, I just got a LinkedIn DM from Child Rights and Youth like management, like that they want to do a program for slum children in tech, and would you be able to do it? And I just discussed it. We saw the location in Delhi. We just built centers, and right now we have 4 centers. So I think we work very rapidly. So people are very interested in those kind of things. Like if it goes in a very monotonous direction, I think they have no newer things to discover, and then they engage themselves in doing all those like shady things. So I engage them with different things so that every time something is happening and they are not doing all of these things.
Nice, nice. Right. I really like this analogy, passing the crown. I myself, I've been looking for a co-lead for the Pune chapter
Yeah,
for Culture
yeah,
First, but so far no success. But yeah, I'll keep
yeah.
that in mind.
Yeah, if
Awesome.
you need my help, I would be very like delighted to join. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Talking about the pandemic, so you started in 2017, and I'm sure you were doing
Yeah,
physical events, right? And
yeah.
when you read and hear people at this point, some people say, so there is a polarized opinion, right? Some people don't want to go back to physical meetings, and some people really want that one-to-one connection and networking that they had in physical conferences and meetups. What is your view? How did Girl Script react to going 100% virtual?
It was not easy, to be honest, because all of the because if you do a offline event, you get more support from the company. There is cost involved, everything. the outreach is bigger for the companies because they are also putting their money to support you. And they need that kind of outreach, marketing, everything. When the online things happened, everybody was coming online. People who were running a travel startup, they also became like tutors. So I mean, everybody started teaching. So it was kind of a lot of chaos. And then it usually happened in March. So at that time, I was very concerned that what I am going to do, how I am going to make a completely offline, like which is a social impact organization, how to like completely go online when half of the people don't have devices, they
Mm.
don't have internet connection, they don't have resources. In slums, like people don't even have mobile phones, like how they can buy a laptop. So all these were my concerns, and obviously the funding or whatever support we got, I think that also completely stopped for I don't know how many months. So that was very difficult phase for me. I did not know what to do, how to get things rolling and whatever. So I mean that was I think shook us, but then we started accepting it. And I think this is how we all took it. We first disliked it, we hated it, but then eventually it just came to us that, okay, this is the new life. You have to be like this. You have to meet each other online and you have to accept it. So then we started accepting it. We started redoing our programs and whatever support we needed for the students, for example, laptop, internet, we tried to do all of that. And now as well, we are now focusing on doing all the programs like mostly 100% either of online or they would be hybrid, like where we need to meet the students to see their progress. Then it will be a hybrid program, like for a week you can learn online and then weekend you can meet the mentors and interact with them. So these are the kind of programs and events we are focusing on. So it has been challenging, but I guess now we have to accept it. And there
Correct.
are pros and cons, I guess, with everything.
Correct. Okay, talking about so I have been following you on both Twitter and LinkedIn. So most of the times, correct me if I'm wrong, you are either helping someone from your community or you're talking about Web3. So what is Web3 and why is it that you are talking about it? So if you're talking about it, then it is something that everyone should know about, right?
Yeah, so Web3 or how I got into it or why I got interested is because first, when the lockdown happened, I got a chance to understand myself better. I think a lot of us got to understand how we feel about certain things, what are our priorities in life and everything. So I also started reading about various things. And then first I got into crypto market, wallet, and all of that. Then I understood that why certain projects has certain value while other coins or tokens have less value. So I started reading about all of these things, and then later on I discovered this whole new Web3 thing where people were owning things on the internet, people were selling memes, people were making money out of it. So I started reading more and more, and then I understood why it is important from a community perspective.
Hmm.
Because it combines all the Web 1 and Web 2 phases, and Web 3 is something where all of us have power. So centralization is getting minimized. People are coming closer together. People are now financially growing as well. So they are getting reaping the benefits out of the internet. And then people can actually own digital assets, and they can also show this ownership to other people, and the originality of the work or the art or everything that will be there. So a lot of different perspective I got from it. And I think why I keep talking about it is that now with Web3 centralization wouldn't have that much of power because in Web 2, when everybody started getting mobile phones, the internet became a common thing for everyone. So there were certain top tier companies who had all the power, all the data to control your life. And right now, I think most of the people who understand security, who understand how the web work and what is the information they are taking from you, what is happening, so now people would move towards open source, decentralization. People would talk more and more about it. And I think because I support all of these factors and my background only started with contributing to open source organization. I was already doing privacy drives with Mozilla, making people aware, all of that. So I think now it is a revolution that is happening globally. And because financial institutions are also involved, people are taking a lot more interest in this. So I think this is the reason why I feel Web3 is big and everybody should come talk about it and also leverage the opportunities mostly which is happening because this is very early in it and early time in it, and if you get involved or if you get employed in any Web3 kind of roles, there is a huge chance to grow.
Okay. Okay. Got your point. So have you picked any indications like Facebook, the parent company changing
Yeah,
its name to Meta,
yeah,
or maybe
yeah.
there was a tweet by Bill Gates that in 2 to 3 year time we'll have our next conferences in a metaverse, in a 3D hologram kind of way, right?
Yeah,
Could be real people talking to it,
yeah.
could be your avatar talking to other people, something like that. So, do you think that we are so close to it, like just 2 3 years, right?
Not see with digital currencies or digitalization that is happening, I don't think we can completely replace it. I mean, it's like, but some of the things would get completely replaced. For example, when telephones were there and now we have mobile phones. So still at offices and some places we still use some part of it, but then mostly people have mobile
Mm,
phones. So I think similarly, whatever we did in Web2, everything wouldn't get replaced, or it is not really close how it looks like or how people are talking about it, but definitely it has started. It is the beginning, and I think in next like 10-20 years, it is going to like shape the world according to it. But if you get involved right now, you would reach or you would be one of the top tier people who would be a part of this revolution.
mm, mm. Excellent. So, what tips do you have for me I'll call myself a newbie in community management, and maybe someone else who is planning to either join a community or run a community through a local chapter. What tips do you have for us?
Yeah, so anybody who is building new community, I think first of all, as I already mentioned, is to understand what are your users, who are your users, and why they should join you. So you should have a proper vision and goals and what you are giving them, because sometimes we just forget about it. And I think empathizing is very important, whether we do business or we do communities. I think stepping into someone's shoes and then understanding. So when I did Girl Script, I knew what problems I faced as a student. And then I started building it according to what I faced. So I think that is really important to understand the problem statement and to step into the audience's shoes, empathizing with them. The second thing would be not to do a lot of things together. Thing make it successful and running, and then maybe engaging people and understanding what more they would like to do and giving them the leadership. Because initially, when we are the leaders, we feel really hesitant about, and we feel that if we give this work to XYZ person, he would ruin it or she would ruin it. Like they won't be able to do it as good as I am doing because that is how we feel. But I think the more we give it to people, the more ideas come together, and then we or as a team leader grow. So I think that is really important to create that leadership among ourselves so that the community keeps on growing. Um, and the third thing would obviously be innovation. So I think why communities stop working or become stagnant at one point because they don't innovate, they don't bring newer things or newer concepts. And again, to bring newer concepts, the way is through people. You need to ask them; they will tell you 10 different ideas. You don't even need to work hard. So I think community is also more about working smartly and also interacting more and more with the people. The more you interact, you will get all the answers and you don't need to do anything right from your
Got
end.
it.
Yeah. So I think yeah, all of these points would be there, and then I yeah, I guess these are all the things.
All right. I think these are wonderful tips for at least for me, and it time will tell whether they are good for everyone else. But at least for me, I'm definitely going to inculcate these things. All right, I
Yeah.
think that is pretty much what I had in my sheet to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something just out of the blue?
No, I guess whoever is listening or will watch us on YouTube, I just want to say, and this is the thing which I end my talk, all of my talks generally. So this is not a talk, but still, I would like to say this that whatever family, whatever background, whatever city, college you come from, you just need to believe in yourself. I think believing in yourself
Mm,
possible. So don't believe that if I want to create this community, I won't be able to, how people will respond, all of that. XYZ things come later. I think starting is very important. Like this was one of the things that my father told me is that if you are a good performer, you don't need a stage. Wherever you perform, people would gather and watch you perform.
right.
Um, so this is the quote I end all of my talk.
That is so true. Right. All right, Anuba. Thank you. I think I want to thank you from bottom of my heart. It has been a very enriching experience talking to you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for inviting me.
And thank you on behalf of everyone who will probably log into YouTube and watch this later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.